Hello and welcome to Runneeti, brought to you by Bad Brick 7 and CricTracker. Unpredictability, thy name is Pakistan cricket. This was the Pakistan team which had lost its first two games of the last series. And it almost seemed like they were down and dusted. But this Pakistan team can never be ruled out of any situation. And they clawed out and how. And they were also held by Netherlands earlier in the day as they defeated South Africa, opening a door for Pakistan, and Pakistan romped out of that door to seal their semi-finals berth to join India from Group 2 as the second semi-finalist. So this is how the match panned out. Bangladesh batting first. They got off to a good start, but as the wicket slowed down, could only eventually manage 127. Their opener Shanto chipped in with a half century, 54 for him, and a couple of other cameos, but eventually 127 was going to be tricky for Bangladesh to defend. Pakistan, in their response, for the first time in this edition of the World Cup, got a good start from their openers. A slow start, albeit, but eventually Shan Masood and Mohammad Harris, with their cameos, seeing the team through. And Shaheen Afridi, we've been discussing so much about him stepping up when it mattered the most with his 4 for 22. To discuss about this game and the game that is to follow between India and Zimbabwe, we've got Kobe Salipie and Nikhil Chopra. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Hi there.
Megha.
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I mean, it's been a great day already, considering the sort of cricket that we've seen. निखिल जो पहला मुकाबला था वो तो दिलचस्प हुआ ही बिकॉज उसने पॉइंट्स टेबल को इतना इंटरेस्टिंग बना दिया, खोल दिया। और अभी पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश के बीच मुकाबले में भी आखिरी तक रुचि बनी रही।
जी हाँ, लेकिन आज का दिन जब स्टार्ट हुआ होगा सवेरे सवेरे, शायद पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश सोच रहे होंगे कि इस मुकाबले का कोई महत्व नहीं होगा। साउथ अफ्रीका सोच रही होगी कि हमने किस तरीके से सेमीफाइनल में खेलना है वो तैयारियां, लेकिन नेदरलैंड्स दाद देनी होगी जिस तरीके से उन्होंने वो क्रिकेट खेली, 13 रनों से वो मुकाबला जीते। और वो मुकाबला खत्म होते होते उसी मैदान में एडलेड पाकिस्तान और बांग्लादेश दोनों ही टीमें एकदम से सोचने लगे कि हमें ये मुकाबला जीतना है क्योंकि हमारे पास अब चांस है सेमीफाइनल में पहुंचने का। और टॉस जीत के शाकिब अल हसन ने पहले बल्लेबाजी करने का फैसला लिया। शुरुआत बुरी नहीं थी, लेकिन बाद में पाकिस्तान के स्पिनर्स ने आके गेम को कंट्रोल किया और फिर शहनशाह अफरीदी करियर बेस्ट फिगर्स, 4 विकेटें उन्होंने निकाली। 127 पे रोकना पाकिस्तान को थोड़ा सा मुश्किल हो गया था, लेकिन जहां ये टीम ऐसा लग रहा था टूर्नामेंट से बाहर हो गई, लेकिन अब ये बहुत खतरनाक टीम होगी। मानिए अब सिडनी में ये न्यूजीलैंड के साथ खेलेंगे क्योंकि भारत और जिम्बाब्वे, भारत जीत जाएगा तो वो अपने ग्रुप को टॉप करेंगे और वो इंग्लैंड के साथ एडिलेड में वो सेमीफाइनल खेलेंगे। पाकिस्तान अब मुझे लगता है बड़ा दिलचस्प मुकाबला होने वाला है उनका न्यूजीलैंड के साथ।
There were speculations that is Pakistan peaking slightly late, but maybe they peaked just at the right time. Kobus.
Yes, I think Pakistan, they always say you never know which team is going to pitch up on the day. And
Yeah.
Pakistan definitely lived up to that reputation again during this World Cup. But the way it's going now, it's the scene could be set for a mouth-watering final with Pakistan against India. And we would have thought that last night. That I don't think anybody really expected South Africa to lose against the Netherlands today. And it's just opened the door for Pakistan. And I think now that they've got that gap, that little with the door open, this Pakistan team, as you quite rightly say, they're peaking at absolutely the right time. The openers are scoring, opening batsmen are scoring runs again. Afridi is taking wickets. I mean, 4 for 22, I think he showed there. I mean, he's definitely back into top form. And and that makes this Pakistan team an incredibly dangerous team. And it's going to be a really, really good semi-final coming up with Pakistan playing against New Zealand on Wednesday.
निखिल, बांग्लादेश का अब जरा सा जिक्र करते हैं। फ्लैटर टू डिसीव वाली स्थिति हो गई। भारत के खिलाफ भी मुकाबला बहुत पास गया था और इनफैक्ट आज के मुकाबले में भी आखिरी तक टेंस फिनिश देखने को मिला, लेकिन जिस तरह की फील्डिंग रही, जो इंटेंसिटी टुवर्ड्स द एंड जिसकी जरूरत थी, प्रॉब्ली वो मिसिंग थी. नो
मेरे ख्याल
बॉल्स.
में वो सब मेगा फर्क पड़ता है। अगर 20 रन और उस टोटल को आप ऐड कर लेते, अंतिम 18 गेंदों में आपके पास मात्र 7-8 रन रह गए थे। उन्हीं 18 गेंदों में अगर आपको 30-32 रन चाहिए होते, तो फिर जो आप बॉडी लैंग्वेज इंटेंसिटी की बात करते हैं, तो वो एक नेचुरल चीज होती है। वो पूरी टीम में ऊर्जा अलग तरीके की रहती है। अब आपको पता है गेंदें ज्यादा है, रन कम है, तो कहीं ना कहीं वो मुकाबला वो टीमें छोड़ देती हैं कि आज हमारे पास वो मौका था थोड़ा सा और कंपेटिटिव होने के लिए। मुश्किल जरूर होती है उनको भी पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ, लेकिन 127 रन, मैं मानता हूं कम से कम 15 से 20 रन कम रह गए इस पिच पे जो आज खेले हैं हम एडलेड में।
इनफैक्ट शुरुआत पाकिस्तान की भी धीमी हुई थी, और उसके बाद जिस तरह की पारी शान मसूद और उसके अलावा मोहम्मद हारिस ने खेली, उसने इवेंचुअली काफी डिफरेंस क्रिएट किया. कोबस, योर थॉट्स ऑन दिस इनिंग्स, because the wicket had slowed down and we saw that with Haris as well, with Shan Masood as well. Shan Masood probably sent in because there was a left arm spinner operating and he was doing well as well, and eventually the two of them did make a huge difference.
Yeah, I think at that stage the foundation has been laid. The worst thing that could have happened to Pakistan is if they lost early wickets, as has been the case up to now in this World Cup, where their two openers not firing. And if they were, I mean, that was Bangladesh's only hope, really, defending such a low total, that they could get Pakistan in the power play, get an early breakthrough, get them 20 for 3 wickets down. But they laid a slow but solid foundation, and these guys are stroke players. I mean, Harris absolutely played the kind of innings he played today. It's a typical Harris innings, and they could come in and with that foundation, wickets in hand, they could play that game. And but I think a lot of credit has to go to the openers today. That it wasn't an easy wicket to bat on. You saw that in the previous match. It was more slow. It was difficult to bat to get the ball away. And I think the openers laid a very good foundation for them and made it possible for these stroke players to come in and play the way they did and play match-winning innings.
I'm talking about ticking the right boxes, Nikhil. सेमीफाइनल से पहले, सेमीफाइनल में जगह तो पक्की की इस मुकाबले के साथ, और सेमीफाइनल्स के पहले ओपनर्स का भी क्लिक करना कितना महत्वपूर्ण अब लग रहा है. कलेक्टिवली पाकिस्तान टीम ने फायर किया है.
देखिए, बाबर आजम और रिजवान के बल्ले से वो रन थोड़ा बहुत योगदान जो आया, लेकिन अगर आप देखें उन्होंने कितनी गेंदें खेली, दो तरीके. आप से पहले आप फॉर्म में आने को देख रहे हैं, आप स्कोरबोर्ड को देख के, वो स्कोरबोर्ड का कोई प्रेशर नहीं था, तो आपके पास समय था, आप रन बॉल खेलने को देख रहे थे. बट यही फर्क है, अगर 15-20 रन और होते, रन बॉल ये मुकाबला कहीं भी जा सकता था. तो मैं कहूंगा कि उनकी तरफ से कि हाँ, जरूर वो थोड़ा सा कॉन्फिडेंट महसूस कर रहे होंगे सेमीफाइनल से पहले कि आप नया बॉल अच्छा खेल रहे हैं, बट उस तरीके का वो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं नजर आया. क्योंकि अगर आप पाकिस्तान टीम की बैटिंग देखें, 60% रन T20s में रिजवान और बाबर आजम बनाते हैं, तो उस किस्म का फॉर्म नहीं नजर आया जो ऊपर से ही गेम खत्म करने को देख रहे हैं. पिछले मुकाबले में भी देखा था दक्षिण अफ्रीका के खिलाफ, 43 पे 4 होने के बाद मध्य क्रम और निचले क्रम ने वो रन बनाए, आपको मस्ट विन गेम जिताया. और आज भी थोड़ा बहुत योगदान था, लेकिन आपको ओवर द लाइन कौन लेके गया? मध्य क्रम और निचला क्रम बैटिंग का. सो टॉप ऑर्डर स्टिल नीड्स टू फायर, बट बॉलिंग अच्छी तरीके से उनकी रिदम में आ रही है. शहनशाह अफरीदी की 4 विकेटें इस मुकाबले में, 3 विकेटें पिछले मुकाबलों में. वो एक खतरनाक गेंदबाज है.
One gets reminded of the Asia Cup finals where Rizwan did score runs but was criticized for not scoring them at the required pace. Now, quickly, your thoughts, Kobus, on the positives that Bangladesh can draw out of this campaigns and the areas that they need to work on before we move on to the next game. Because India has won the toss and it has opted to bat first, but Bangladesh's positives and areas of concern.
Yeah, I think the Bangladeshi management team, first of all, will have to go back to the drawing table. They didn't have a good tournament, and they will be very well aware of that. I think one of their biggest problems is they don't really have explosive batsmen in that middle order. They get good starts, and then not really good starts. They just, as a unit, they didn't really perform. So there's a lot for them to take away from this, and not that many positives, to be honest. They really have to go back and look at their team again, look at the next best players, maybe make a few changes to their starting 11. And there's hard work waiting on this Bangladeshi team to get back to the Bangladeshi team we got used to. I mean, I remember watching them at the Oval in a 50 over competition about 4 years ago in the World Cup, and they beat South Africa. And they played a beautiful brand of cricket. And I'm watching them now, and that intensity is just not there. They don't have the confidence. The body language is not the same.
Mm. In 2015 as well, handing a thrashing to England at the World Cup. Now, talking about making changes in the 11, that has happened as far as Zimbabwe is concerned. India too bringing in a change. They brought in Rishabh Pant, and the rationale given behind it is that he's the only player who's not got a chance in the 11, be it the tour games or the group matches, the Super 12 matches. So he's brought in the 11. And as far as Zimbabwe is concerned, they made a couple of changes. It's Wellington and Munyonga who are in. Milton, who has struggled a bit, he has been dropped, and Liu Jongwei has an injury, so he has also made way in the 11 for Munyongwa. So we'll have a look at the playing 11 of both the teams. Like we mentioned, two changes for Zimbabwe, one for India. But Nikhil, जो एक चेंज भारत ने किया है कितना महत्वपूर्ण, बिकॉज ऋषभ पंत का अगर हम जिक्र करें, लेफ्ट हैंडर हैं, ऑफ कोर्स ऑस्ट्रेलियन कंडीशन से बहुत अच्छे से परिपक्व है, ऑलबीट इन डिफरेंट फॉर्मेट, लेकिन डोमिनेट किया है इन कंडीशंस पे। तो इस मुकाबले में इनका खेलना, और अगर कुछ बहुत अच्छी पारी यहाँ से आती है तो कितना मुश्किल होगा यहाँ से टीम मैनेजमेंट का डिसाइड करना कि डीके या ऋषभ पंत।
देखिए, मेरे हिसाब से अगर आज उनका बहुत अच्छा दिन रहता है तो मैं उनको जरूर खिलाऊंगा, क्योंकि मध्य क्रम में आके आपके पास एक और लेफ्ट हैंडर आ जाते हैं, और ये एक ऐसा खिलाड़ी है, विस्फोटक खिलाड़ी है। आप इनको बैटिंग ऑर्डर में कहीं पे भी बल्लेबाजी करा सकते हैं। इनका दिन होता है, आपको ये मुकाबला जिता के दे देंगे। तो मेरे ख्याल में ये एक अच्छी सोच थी कि आप ऋषभ पंत जैसे मैच विनर को एक गेम जरूर दीजिए, क्योंकि खुदा ना खास्ता सेमीफाइनल से पहले किसी एक खिलाड़ी को, किसी एक बैट्समैन को अगर मान लीजिए कोई दिक्कत रहती है, इंजरी रहती है, तो कम से कम आपके पास जो एक बैकअप प्लान है, वो एक मुकाबला खेल चुके हैं, तो मेंटली वो भी तैयार रहता है। सो आई थिंक इट्स अ ग्रेट मूव। एक चेंज और मैं देख सकता था, क्योंकि आप ऋषभ को खिला रहे हैं, तो क्या एक यूजी चहल की भी एक वहां पे गेम खिलाना चाहिए था, क्योंकि मेलबर्न में बड़ा मैदान है, और मैं सेमीफाइनल से आगे की सोच रहा हूँ। एडिलेड में जिस तरीके से आज पिच खेली है, थोड़ा धीमे था, तो क्या वहां पे खिलाने को देखते, या मेलबर्न में फाइनल में आप उनको खिला सकते थे। तो आज के मुकाबले में आप ये एक आधा चेंजेस कर सकते थे। ऐसा नहीं है कि यूजी चहल ने पहले नहीं विकेटें चटकाई या बहुत बड़ा ये मुकाबला है। सो आई थॉट कि यूजी चहल को खिला सकते थे, बट नेवरदलेस ये बहुत अच्छी टीम है, बहुत अच्छी 11 है, और लगभग मेरे को यही 11 नजर आते हैं आगे जाते हुए सेमीफाइनल और फाइनल में।
जी, सेमीफाइनल और फाइनल बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस दिखाया, सुनकर बहुत अच्छा लगा। वापस जो पहले का आपने जिक्र किया उस पर आएंगे, उस टॉपिक पे। प्लेइंग 11 दोनों टीमों की, उस पर एक बार पहले नजर डालते हैं कि हाउ इट लुक्स एट द मोमेंट। केएल राहुल got some runs for himself in the game against Bangladesh that was so important for India. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav. Now Virat Kohli, Suryakumar Yadav have been in a scintillating run of form. Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant, Akshar Patel, Ravichandran Ashwin, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Shami and Arshdeep Singh. As far as Zimbabwe is concerned, now Wesley, of course, in the last couple of games against South Africa and Pakistan combined, he has scored 52 of 31 deliveries. So player to watch out for. Craig Irvine, the skipper. Regis Chakabva, he's been struggling a bit with the bat, just 45 runs in 7 innings for him. Sean Williams did create a scare against Bangladesh, scored some important runs. Sikandar Raza, Tony is that one change that we were talking about, apart from the other change that, of course, we had discussed earlier. Masakadza, Muzirbani, and Richard Tendai Chatara and Rand Burl complete that 11 for Zimbabwe. Now, we were talking about spinners and how Yuzvendra Chahal could probably have made his way in the 11. We've seen this Cobus for India, 19 overs of spin that India has bowled. It has managed to pick just 4 wickets. Do you think going ahead, that could be an issue for India? Because it was somewhat of an issue against maybe South Africa or the game that India lost.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's an issue for India. I mean, they've got 2 proven spinners. Ashwin is going to come good. I mean, both of them are they've earned their spurs, and I think it's just a matter of time. They've been also, I think the wicket so far hasn't really assisted them in this World Cup. It hasn't really turned much. So, but I believe, especially at the MCG with the long boundaries, they definitely play a role. And you can see that also Zimbabwe expect spin to play a big role today. They've brought the extra spinner in the place of the fast bowler. So Zimbabwe also today, they've got Raza, they've got Williams, and now they've brought Masakaza in. So I think spin could play a more of a role today. And the Indian spinners with Ashwin, I think, leading could definitely play a bigger role today than they have up to now. And also keeping in mind that the final will be at the MCG, and India has already qualified. So this is very much a dress rehearsal for them to do some fine tuning to their team. And I think it's a good opportunity today for their spinners to show their mettle today.
Absolutely. And now talking about the pace department of Zimbabwe team first. Now, Nikhil, उनके पास जो पेसर्स हैं 6-8 के हैं, ब्लेसिंग मुजरबानी, फिर रिचर्ड है, लेफ्ट आर्म एंगल लेकर आते हैं, उनकी भी हाइट अच्छी है, तो काफी दिलचस्प होने वाला है बिकॉज अर्ली ऑन थोड़ी लैटरल मूवमेंट की उम्मीद रहेगी.
नया गेंद आपको अच्छे से खेलने को देखना होगा, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. और ये इस विश्व कप में देखा है, उतार चढ़ाव, और ये अपसेट्स का विश्व कप रहा है. तो आप किसी भी टीम को हल्के में नहीं आंक सकते. दो अच्छी गेंदें शुरुआत में, एक अच्छी फील्डिंग या एक खराब शॉट, दबाव कुछ भी हो सकता है. तो आप संभल के खेलना चाहेंगे. और खास तौर से मेलबर्न में वो अगर आप फाइनल में खेलना चाहते हैं तो रोहित शर्मा भी कुछ रन्स उस मुकाबले से पहले अंडर इस बेल्ट चाहेंगे, सेमीफाइनल से पहले, क्योंकि सभी बल्लेबाजों ने अच्छी तरीके से रन बनाए. एक अर्शतक है रोहित का, बट वो पूरी तरीके से अपने लय में नहीं नजर आए. जिस तरीके से पिछले मुकाबले में केएल राहुल ने भी बल्लेबाजी की, तो वो कॉन्फिडेंस महसूस करेंगे. तो शुरुआत के वो 6 गेंदे 8 गेंदे थोड़ा सा सम्मान जरूर देने को देखेंगे. लेकिन फर्क ये है ना, कितनी बारी देखा है मेगा एसोसिएट नेशंस में कि अगर आप गेंदबाजी का क्रम अच्छे से स्टार्ट करते हैं पर वो कंसिस्टेंटली अच्छे से वो फिनिश नहीं कर पाते, तो आपको वो लूज डिलीवरीज मिलेंगी भी. तो शॉट सिलेक्शन जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएगा आपके लिए.
और यही जो बात आपने कही वो वैलिड होगा जिम्बाब्वे के बल्लेबाजों के लिए भी कि कंसिस्टेंटली अच्छा प्रदर्शन करना होगा, क्योंकि पावर प्ले के अंदर अभी तक 20 विकेट गवा दिए हैं. सो कोबस टॉकिंग अबाउट जिम्बाब्वे's बैटिंग particularly inside the power play overs, we saw them even against the Netherlands when the ball was swinging, there was not much of footwork from them and they found themselves struggling.
Yeah, I'm afraid Zimbabwe, okay, they had that one amazing win against Pakistan, but for the rest, their campaign has been a big disappointment, especially losing the way they did to the Netherlands. And they've had a huge problem. Their top order hasn't fired at all. They've relied so much on two batsmen. They've relied on Raza and on Williams, and no one else has really put their hand up. And I think that you're not going to perform well at a World Cup in Australia when your top batters are, they're battling to get scores of 120. So Zimbabwe's had a huge problem, and we hope today. I mean, it's a different game for them. There's no pressure really on Zimbabwe, and they could probably back themselves to go and do another Netherlands performance today. It's happened this morning, and they can go and play with a lot of freedom and play their shots today. And I especially think that Raza is the player to watch today. He's going to sign off, I believe. He'll be very determined to sign off this World Cup with a good score and one of the typical Raza innings. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back today.
Red hot form is what Sikandar Raza has been in this year throughout and has carried that form to the World Cup as well. Another player who's improved in form as he progressed to the World Cup, that's Shaheen Afridi, and he is back the player of the match from the game played earlier in the day, that was between Pakistan and Bangladesh. नाउ निखिल वापस इस मुकाबले पे आते हैं. 20 साल में पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है जब भारत की फुल स्ट्रेंथ साइड को फेस करेगी जिम्बाब्वे की टीम, और बिल्कुल सेल आउट है स्टेडियम में, क्राउड भरा रहेगा, इतने सारे लोगों के बीच में इतनी जो शोर होता है, जो उत्साह होता है, वो एनर्जी होती है, उसके बीच में खेलेंगे प्लेयर्स. कितना महत्वपूर्ण होगा उनके लिए प्लेटफॉर्म?
देखिए बहुत, जब आपके पास आपको पता है कि पूरा स्टेडियम आपके साथ है, तो वो एनर्जी, वो ऊर्जा आप फीड करते हैं बतौर खिलाड़ी। हर चौके, हर छक्के पे, हर अच्छी फील्डिंग पे जब वो तालियों की गूंज आपके कानों में बजती है, तो आपका खेल, आपका दिल और बड़ा हो जाता है, और आप अपने खेल को और निखार के वहां एक्सप्रेस करने को देखते हैं। सो दैट फीडिंग ऑफ दैट एनर्जी इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड मेलबर्न का वो मैदान सेल आउट रहेगा, और भारतीय टीम तो बेगा जहां मर्जी खेले विश्व के किसी भी कोने में, तो उनके समर्थक हर जगह मौजूद रहते हैं, इतना प्यार देते हैं अपने क्रिकेटिंग हीरोज को।
And so important for Zimbabwe cricketers as well because they'd be, of course, playing against full strength India and in front of so many supporters, albeit supporting India. But the fact remains that there'd be so many people in attendance, and in front of them, the Zimbabwe players would be playing. Now, Kobus, of course, you're heartbroken since the morning because of what happened in South Africa and Netherlands game. But that's been one area that South Africa, I mean, in context of South African cricket and World Cups, we've talked time and again that they've not failed to, I mean, failed to deliver the goods at crucial junctures. In case of India as well, last time they lifted the World Cup was back in 2011. In between, they've come close. They looked so dominant in the 2015 edition of the World Cup and again in 2019 edition of the World Cup, but then faltering at the semi-final stage. So here with this game, India would like to show that they mean business.
Yeah, today's game, the one good thing for India today is really that they have no pressure. They know, they already get their mindset right. They're in that space where it's a preparation for a semi-final on Thursday against England, and I think they can really go out today and work on things like sort of, is punt, is it the right selection today to play punt? They can have a look at that. Ashwin, as I said before, we can have another look at Ashwin. He can get his game plan right, and the players can sort of get there. Uh, they can get into that space already for a semi-final coming up. So I
Yeah.
expect India today to play a fearless brand of cricket. Virat Kohli in the form of his life, Yadav playing also in the form of his life. So I think this India team, you're talking about Pakistan peaking at the right time. This Indian team is definitely peaking at the right time. And I expect India, at the moment, India is my favorites to win this World Cup. I expect India to really have a good game today and come out with a good win against Zimbabwe.
So do you think we'll see a India Pakistan final, Melbourne, 13
Oh,
November?
I was the first thing when South Africa lost today. I said I am heartbroken, but it set up a mouth-watering final. I mean, what better final for a T20 World Cup in Australia than India Pakistan at the MCG, packed out. I mean, a cricket lover. It doesn't matter which team you support. That is the dream final for anybody that loves cricket, and that includes me.
Yeah,
Nikhil,
well, that's going to be a repeat of 2007 then, if
yeah,
it's an India Pakistan final.
and hope it ends the same way as well. Nikhil, we shall very shortly get an Indian jersey packed and send it to Kobus in Croatia so that he can cheer the Indian team while
Oh,
wearing the Indian colors. And of course, it being an India game, there's bound to be a lot of buzz on the social media about this game. Let's have a look at what the netizens were saying ahead of this game on Social Tracker, brought to you by Bad Break 7. All right, then plenty of excitement surrounding this game. Vikrant Gupta says Ashwin on India versus Zimbabwe. No win has come easy. No game is easy. Every team has adapted well. We need to be clinical. We know it's a must win game, and Zimbabwe have played well. We respect that. And a reminder they, of course, defeated Pakistan by 1 run. The reason why it all went down to the wire, why it all went down to today. So, yes, a reminder there. And all set for last Super 12 match against Zimbabwe. Of course, India would want to stamp its authority on the Super 12 stage and would want to issue a message, a stern message for the semi-finals through this game as well. Scenes in Group 2, now there's a lot of chaos there. India sitting quietly in the corner. The reason being because India had, before this game as well, before this game itself, accumulated 6 points. So there was a lot of scampering in between, but eventually it's Pakistan that has emerged out of it. The most unpredictable team for a reason, and that's Pakistan cricket team. It has two sides, and very aptly described. There's one that's bulky, that's strong, that's dominant. The other one, you can just never predict about them, and that's the reason this image aptly conveys what Pakistan team is all about. So, well, then a lot of interest surrounding this game on social media, and then obviously Nikhil, be a lot of interest around Arshdeep Singh as well. हमने देखा है किस तरह से पावर प्ले के ओवर के अंदर उन्होंने गेंदबाजी की है, जो हाइट उनकी है, उसके बाद लेफ्ट आर्म एंगल है, और एक और चीज उन्होंने मेंशन की थी कि अपने रन अप को स्ट्रेट किया है ताकि लेफ्ट हैंडर के लिए बॉल को अंदर लेके आ सके, और उन सारी चीजों का रिवॉर्ड वो रीप कर रहे हैं। अभी तक पावर प्ले के अंदर 4 विकेट निकाल चुके हैं।
देखिए, सुल्तान ऑफ स्विंग बन गए। जिस तरीके से वो गेंद को दोनों तरफ मूव करा सकते हैं, राइट हैंडर को वो हवा में गेंद तो अंदर लेके आते हैं, जो उनका वो एक नेचुरल गेंद है, बट हवा में राइट हैंड बैट्समैन को स्टंप्स के बीच में से बाहर की तरफ ले जाना, स्लिप्स की तरफ, ये एक टॉप क्वालिटी गेंदबाज की एक वो निशानी है। इसीलिए वो नया गेंद से इतने खतरनाक रहते हैं और नई गेंद से वो विकेट चटकाते हैं। अर्शदीप मेरे लिए इस विश्व कप के मतलब हीरो हैं एक तरीके से। जिस तरीके से उन्होंने गेंदबाजी की, बहुत बड़ा मोमेंट एक युवा खिलाड़ी के लिए, और उन्होंने उस मौके को बहुत अच्छी तरीके से भुनाया है। दाद देनी हुई अर्शदीप, जो भारत के नए इस समय सुल्तान ऑफ स्विंग कह सकते हैं आप उनको।
जी, मौके को भुनाने का मौका आपके पास भी है, क्योंकि लगातार हम कॉन्टेस्ट रन कर रहे हैं और उस कॉन्टेस्ट में बहुत सारे हैम्पर्स जीतने का मौका आपको मिलेगा। इन कॉन्टेस्ट में आपसे सवाल पूछा जाता है हर मुकाबले से पहले। तो आज का सवाल ये है कि आपको प्रिडिक्ट करना है आज के मुकाबले में टॉप रन गेटर भारत और जिम्बाब्वे के बीच जो मुकाबला खेला जाना है। और दूसरा स्टेप इसमें यह है कि आपको #BadBrick7 का इस्तेमाल करना है। महज 2 मिनट आपके पास बचे हैं, तो जल्दी से अपने एक्सपर्ट्स के कमेंट्स ले लेते हैं कि उनको क्या लगता है आज सर्वाधिक स्कोर कौन बनाएगा। कोबस, योर थॉट्स ऑन who would be the highest run getter today?
I'm going to go for Virat Kohli. The form Virat is in, I think Virat at the moment, as I said before, he seems to be able to walk on water. It doesn't matter which pitch he's playing on, he just plays his game. So I back Virat Kohli today to get another big score.
An average of 220 seems to suggest that notwithstanding, of course, the not outs, but a strike rate as well, that's around 150. Virat Kohli has been totally imposing this World Cup. Let's have a look at the poll that we've been running and have been seeking your opinion in it. Now, will KL Rahul score 50 plus against Zimbabwe? Maybe going by how well he played against Bangladesh, there are 80% of the voters saying yes, 20% think that it's not possible, he'd be dismissed under 50. Well, then we get to know that when we come back after, of course, the match has finished and the group assignments have come to a conclusion. Super 12 have come to a close. As of now, thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining. We hope it is an exciting clash, one in which India as well ticks all the boxes, as it is all set for the semi-finals. We'll be back again post-match to discuss so much more about this World Cup. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.